Alright everybody, this will be a warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 86 I believe. So go over some of the things talking about, our labor laws, school, things of this nature, things we can do different in the future, make some adjustments to make things make more sense and more fair for everybody. Thinking about school and stuff, like I said, is there really a need for brick and mortar schools for all grades? Can't we get a lot of the courses and stuff online, and then maybe cut down school, 3 days a week or something, or even 2 days, depending on the grade, and the length of a school day too. If you can remember when you were a kid, by the time you reached a certain age, just the long day in school, that last hour, I don't think there were very many people absorbing too much information. And we need to go over the curriculums too, adding things that are going to help America's kids in the future, just like computer science and stuff like that. We need to have more of that at earlier ages, technology and stuff. But I think we also need, as I spoke about before, is language. As the world becomes more global, and markets and stuff, and travel and this and that, and people moving, I think it'd be a great advantage if we started teaching children second or even third languages when they're little. Not only in school, but like if you take remember those things that was kind of a circular thing, and you pulled the string and it would go to like rooster, and the rooster goes, and then it had a dog and a cat. But if you think of that, a learning toy, if you take like a tablet or something, put a good rubber bumper type case thing around it and stuff, and just mom and dad don't always have time to sit with a kid and do stuff and everything, but this would be something that they could turn on and show them a picture of a dog, and then how to say dog in each language that you pick. And I'm not big on the technology. I don't know how much information you could put in there, how many words you could put in there in different languages and stuff. Not everybody has Wi-Fi or access to the internet and stuff, so I think you'd have to build it with a really good vocabulary in it for all these languages, and instead of the phrases and all the adjectives and this and that, just keep it for young kids, objects and things, and like colors, numbers, and it would be to where, as the child get older, and you want to learn, sentence structure and all those types of things, and adjectives and verbs and all the other stuff, to be able to put sentences together. Then you could, like, either, I don't know, maybe download or just hook it up. It would have a portal. You could go online with it and stuff, or and I think it would give our kids in the future a great head start in the world, knowing multiple languages, I mean, you think about it, if you present it to a kid in the right way, and look, you know, how'd you like to travel for one of these big corporations and go to different places all around the world and you know, make a fairly decent living doing business for these companies in different places around the world. I think that's going to be a bonus. And if you start teaching early enough, it's repetitive, they'll latch on to you know, even just the basics of different languages and stuff. So, and then like work hours and stuff like that, instead of an 8-hour day, what if you went to a 7-hour day? And that would mean full-time would be 35 hours in a week. Anything over 7 would be overtime in a day. And then like you could have, you know, part-time go to, you know, 28 hours, and anything over 7 in a day is overtime. And then you know, they couldn't work you past the 28. Like if you went past 28, maybe then it's double time. That way they couldn't, because like I said, each classification would have a different minimum wage starting out. So, you know, if you're going to be a business only needs part-time help, and it's not, you know, a high dollar job, you know, to keep them from taking advantage of you, hiring you at the lesser wage, and then making you work more than your 28 in a week or whatever, and then just say no, we're just changing your class, you know, full-time or whatever, you know, so they can't be taken advantage of. And same thing with working a full-time job. Anything over 7 in a day is overtime. And that way they can't work you like a dog at the beginning of the week and then tell you to take a day off at the end of the week and screw you out of the overtime. So things like that. Tough on drugs, tough on crime. Change the tax laws, like either you know, from the age of 24 to 64, you only pay income tax. Drive it home to people, young people, you know, hey, between the ages of 17 and 24, you having a chance to plan your life out, get some investments, get your schooling and all this and everything. You don't have to worry about paying taxes unless you make, you know, like whatever we set the dollar amount, like unless you make over 50 grand a year or something like that. Same thing with senior citizens. Bring a lot of relief to a lot of elderly people who want to work still, even if it's part-time or something, and then they get penalized with their Social Security and stuff. I don't think that's fair. We do away with penalizing them on Social Security, and also give them a break on income taxes, things like that. I think there's a lot of things we need to go over in this country, the nuts and the bolts of it, instead of these people arguing about crap. You know, that they just, you know, all these issues they want FaceTime on. You know, oh, transgender should, you know, men use bathrooms, girls' bathrooms, and all this type of crap and stuff. And it's like, you know what? You really need to start paying attention to the structure of the country, the basics. You know, the meat and potatoes. Can we just get some kind of uniform plan or plans? You know, dealing with different things to make life better for people. Leave all the social issues out of it for a while. And it's like Michelle Obama just gave a speech, a pre-recorded thing, a speech, and one of the things she said in there is about a never-ending list of innocent black people who've been killed by police officers. And in 2019, there was only 9, according to one report I heard on the radio, 9 African Americans who were unarmed who were killed by police officers. That doesn't mean they weren't being violent and attacking the officer or something like that. But the names Michelle Obama gave, George Floyd, Breonna, what's her name, Taylor or whatever, she's saying innocent. These people were dealing in drugs and stuff. I think all the people she listed were involved in some kind of criminal activity. Now, she wants to talk about innocent black lives. Why isn't she talking about the little children in Chicago? That little boy who was killed, the little girl. That's innocent lives, okay? Don't take criminals who are on the wrong side of the law, who are causing the police to interact with them, who end up getting killed, as innocent victims of like the police are going around and murdering people. That is a bunch of horseshit. See, you got to pay attention to the way these people talk sometimes. Like I said before, the thought process in this country is backwards. She's telling you innocent people killed by police officers. Well, they're not innocent. They were criminals. Now, you can debate whether or not they should have died or the cops went past their bounds, but let's not blur, the whole issue. Those children were innocent. That little white boy in Carolina, he was innocent. Those are innocent lives, Mrs. Obama, not criminals. When are you people going to realize America is tired of hearing about the poor criminals? You care more about them than victims. Do you understand that? I don't see any of you ever coming to the forefront saying this is horrible what happened to this person. This person's a victim. We need to see justice done. Well, the only time you hear that is if it's something to do with race and you could advance your narrative. Some white person somewhere went off on a tirade and used a bunch of derogatory racial slurs and stuff like that. That you'll blow up. A police officer using it, or a police officer using violence or something to protect himself. You'll use that. But you'll never get, you liberals never get out in front of the camera and say we need to protect the innocent. And it shouldn't be a surprise because you don't care about babies being killed in their mother's wombs. You're all for abortion. And that goes, there's a lot that can be done about that with just education of girls as they're being brought up about getting pregnant and the responsibility, and to young men. I told my son for a long time when he was growing up, look here. You better be damn sure the girl, when you start being sexually active, I told him, I said, I hope it's not until you get married. I know that's unrealistic these days. He's the age now, I'm not going to ask him about his person. He can make his own decisions, but he's known how I felt the whole time he's been growing up. That he better never ever knock up some girl and then tell her she's on her own. Because I'd disown him for that. Or he better never tell her, oh, go get an abortion. He better never be one of those types of men. I've always tried to tell him, you're talking about, you start getting involved with somebody, that baby comes along, that's at least 18 years of your life. 18 years. That child is going to come first. So anything you want to do in life, I've told him, I said, you better figure out what you want to do. If you want to travel, if you want to, whatever you want to do, that's going to take your undivided attention. You better do it before you get married and start messing around and things like that. Because once you start a family, that's it. That's you get your undivided attention. Plenty of people out there have, this ain't gonna sound the right way, but have messed their lives up because they wouldn't put being serious in relationships and having sexual relations on ice until they got their lives figured out and were more stable. Too many young people. And you can look at our divorce rate and everything. Getting married too early, having children too early. They're not prepared for life, and they're not prepared to take care of another life. And with all the types of things that happen in this world, economically and politically, and you know, that can just set people back. You know, how many people are living paycheck to paycheck, where their whole lives are hanging by a thread? You know, so it's just kind of ridiculous to see the left come out and talk about innocent life, and they're all for abortion up to the time of birth, and even if that abortion fails, even after birth. How macabre of a society are we going to allow to take place? So I think we need to pay attention to the nuts and bolts, the frameworks of society that will be fair to everybody, give everybody opportunity to achieve, to live a more secure life without worry, etc. You know, with tax rates and this and that, so you don't have some administration change and come in and just turn everybody's world upside down. We're going to tax you like you won't believe, so we can push through all these social programs. You know, hey, yeah, it sounds great. It'd be great for everybody to just have be able to go to the doctor and not worry about the bill. Almost said free medical, but there's no such thing as free. But here's the thing. You know, you politicians, you write checks and it's not your money. It's real easy to be generous when it's not your money. Oh, look at this. This sounds great. Look at this on paper. This is wonderful. We're going to help so many people. You're not helping anybody. You're taking out of other people's pockets to help people. I know it makes you feel nice and warm and fuzzy and you want to pat yourself on the back, but you just took money out of my pocket and somebody else's pocket that they could use for their family, to keep their family from falling into poverty and needing assistance. Do you understand that? Is that too hard to friggin' understand? If you're taking 20 and 30% of a person's revenue in taxes so that you can give it away to other people who've never paid into the system, people who don't even give a damn about the country, who are here illegally, that's not fair? It might make you feel good, might give you some FaceTime on TV, but you are robbing the citizens of this country. Now, if you want to go around and help everybody in the world, drain your own bank accounts. Drain your own friggin' bank accounts, and you all know you're getting rich in office from crooked money. You all play the insider trading game, especially if there's going to be a war. You all invest in every single company that's going to be involved in providing services for the military, whether you're Democrat or Republican. And you want to feel good about helping people, drain your own friggin' bank account. Move out of that multi-million-dollar house you have. Get rid of some of your security costs. And take that money and go down to the help homeless encampments and find some people and go buy them a house with your money. The same with all you athletes who jump on this bandwagon. You know, you're social justice warriors and you're looking for income, economic justice. A lot of you are making more in interest a week than people are making a month, or in a lot of cases probably a year, just off of what you have in the bank and what you're able to take and invest in the companies that you spokesperson for. Who, by the way, I don't know how much stock Michael Jordan or LeBron James has in Nike, but I'm sure they got quite a bit. And they're supposed to be for, fairness and all this and everything. I don't know if Nike's ever straightened out their labor deal in Vietnam where they would chain people to the fucking tables. But no one's going to ask LeBron about that. Are you kidding? Not mainstream media anyhow. How can you say you're for, fairness and all this and everything and you're making money off of slave labor? Same thing with the immigrants. A lot of these people that want the open borders and stuff, because a lot of their constituents, especially here in California, are deep in agriculture. They want the cheap labor. They want the cheap labor. And it's not just agriculture. I shouldn't say that, because that's one of the things people say. Oh, they're only taking the jobs nobody wants. No. The cost of doing business has gone so horrifically high here in California that a lot of businesses are turning to illegal immigrants. Doesn't matter if it's little machine shops. Doesn't matter if it's a big well-known corporation that has a factory out here or something. A lot of them are turning to the illegal labor so they can compete. Because once one facet of whatever business you're in, if it's restaurants, landscaping, or whatever, once the guy down the road starts using illegal labor and is able to put in cheaper bids and stuff, then you're more or less faced with having to do the same thing too or go out of business. And it spreads like a cancer. So you can quit the lies about, oh, they're just, they're out there, they're all picking vegetables. Wrong answer. Take a look at the traffic going down up and down I-5 and I-10 in there, and look up in some of the trucks and stuff. They're even driving trucks. Speaking of which, I got awakened this morning. I was kind of already half awake, just getting up, and I heard this rattling. So I kind of got up and looked out through the curtains and looked over in each mirror and didn't see nothing. It's still dark out, like 4:30 in the morning. And I didn't see anything. I sat back down. I heard the rattling again some more. So I got up, started to take a better look, and I saw the guy that was parked on the right side of me get in his truck. He was bobtail and take off. And so at first I thought, well, maybe he was just fixing something on his truck or something. But I got out and I walked around my truck, and lo and behold, the latch on the fuel cap on my right tank was up. Now I have locking fuel caps, so he couldn't get in. But that's what I was thinking when I heard the rattling initially at first. Was that sounds like when I take my fuel cap off. But I thought, no, nobody'd be stupid enough to be doing that. 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever the hell it was. So, but he was. So I, after I walked around the truck and everything, I drove through the parking lot looking to see if he was still in that lot. I was at the TA in Santa Nella, California. He wasn't on that lot, so I drove over to the Love's truck stop, and lo and behold, there he was. So I got videos. I got his plate. He wasn't in the truck when I first went through by where he was. I got some video and took pictures. I circled the lot and came back through the fuel pumps, and you know, was checking my tie downs and things like that, and everything, making sure he hadn't messed with anything like that. And then lo and behold, there he goes. He's walking across the parking lot, coming from the building, heading for his truck. Oh, and he noticed me. I guarantee you. He didn't say nothing. He just kept a beeline straight for his truck. And so when I started to pull out, I drove back right in front of his truck and took some more video and stuff. And some people say, well, why didn't you do something? Well, number one, he's about half the size of me. Number two, I didn't have video of him when he was over by my truck or anything like that. So it's my word against his, and this being the state of California, and I'm sure the first thing he would have screamed is racism because he was a Mexican. You know, there was no way, you know, to handle it that way. Because if I went up and started to confront him about it and he denied it, what then? Punch him in the face? And go to jail for assault or something like that? So, like I said before, I believe in karma. You know, which, and to you Christians, when you say reap what you sow, that's karma. So you should be able to see the connection with other religions around the world. So, anyhow, I was quite pissed. Didn't see the point of pummeling the guy. You know, he's lucky, you know, if he's doing that thing on a regular basis, he's lucky he hasn't been shot, you know. So, he'll keep messing around doing that, stealing fuel, until he does get shot. But anyhow, you know, it's almost always when I'm in California, I've had tarps stolen off my truck, other things like that. It's pretty much California. Trying to think. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure. Can't remember my whole career, but anyhow, so just to recap, I think some of the ideas, we need to restructure some things and think forward towards the future. I think we need to knock off all this race card playing, especially coming from the left. You know, and Miss Obama, police officers who have to use force to subdue a criminal and stuff, that does not qualify as innocent lives. You understand? They're not going down the street and looking for African American, hey, and just killing them. You understand that? They're answering calls where there's criminal activity going on. Or they're serving warrants on people they know who are involved in criminal activity. So it doesn't make those people innocent. The people who are innocent are the children in Chicago, the little boy in Carolina. Those are innocents, not criminals. And you say a never-ending list. I'm sorry. According to the stat I heard on the radio, there was only 9 African Americans in 2019 who were unarmed and who were killed by police. Out of a country of how many? We're a country of 300 million something. So what's they can say African Americans are 13%. I'm telling y'all, it's closer to 20 or 25%. Pretty sure it's got to be up there anyway. You know, same thing with the illegals and stuff coming across the border. Because if you want to try and tell me You know, and same thing with white people. The poor demographics. Ain't nobody filling out that damn census shit. You think they're worried about filling out the census in the hood, or in the barrio, or in the Appalachians, or anywhere there's poor white people that are involved with doing drugs and stuff and everything? Don't think so. They ain't worried about that shit. So if you say 20% of the population's African American, or even 15%, whatever you want to say, and there was only 9 unarmed persons, African Americans, killed by police, which does not mean they were not being violent, just means they were unarmed. Doesn't mean they didn't assault the officer. Doesn't mean they didn't put the officer in fear of his life or her life. Just means they were unarmed and they were killed by police officers. So I think it was very unfair, the speech she gave. I think it's very unfair how they present everything from the left. And, this whole election, especially if the results are delayed and stuff like that, I think things are just going to get worse in this country. Hope not. Hope by then everybody settles out, but looking at the things Black Lives Matter and Antifa are still doing, it's not looking that way. So anyhow, wish you all the best out there. Be safe out on the road. We'll catch you on the next one. God bless, and be careful. Adios.